Good afternoon. Welcome to the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District meeting. Today is November 17th. The time is 5:12. Madam Clerk,
Chairperson Shirley Lanier,
here.
Vice Chair Kashamba Miller Anderson, Board Member Bruce Guyton,
Here.
Board Member Glenn Spiritus,
Here.
Board Member Christella Davis Pinier,
Here.
ex officio Board Member Mia Douglas Lawson, City Manager Jonathan Evans,
Present.
Acting City Clerk Deborah Hall is present, District Attorney Don Nguyen,
Here.
District Finance Director Randy Sherman. Madam Chair, you have a quorum, you may proceed.
Thank you. Let's have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Guyton.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair, please let the record reflect that ex officio Mayor Douglas Lawson is present.
Thank you. Do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions from the staff or the council?
None from staff, Madam Chair.
Any disclosures of any of the items that are listed on this agenda? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Madam Clerk?
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Board Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
That's a unanimous vote.
The consent agenda, all matters listed on this item are considered to be routine and action will be taken by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a councilperson so requests. In which event, the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Any member want to pull an item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, a motion to approve consent.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
That's a unanimous vote.
Our next item of awards and presentations, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, we are on item 4A, presentations regarding updates of utility special district projects.
Mr. Evans.
Madam Chair and members of the board, if I can have the Utility District Director, Mr. Joshua Neiman, to make his presentation.
Madam Chair, if I may, if
Yes,
I
go
could
ahead.
call Global Tech to the podium to provide a update for this agenda.
Okay. Who's gonna go first?
Good evening. I'm David Schuman, the project manager with Global Tech.
I'm sorry, who's that?
My name is David Schuman. I'm the project manager with Global Tech. We're working on rehab of some of the wells.
Okay, go ahead.
So we did hand in a summary, but since then, we've actually finished one of the other wells. So now all 5 of the wells that we designated for putting back in service are back in service. In addition, there's another well that we have finished work on. It's an emergency well that only operates under generator power, and that one is also completed. So now we've moved on to trying to increase the capacity of 2 of your other existing wells. And right now, the one we're working on is 871. We are acidizing that well. We're pumping acid into the well and pumping it back out and overdeveloping that well to see if we can increase the capacity of that well. And once we're done with that well, we'll move on to the next well, which is 802, and do the same thing on that. And that's the intent, is to try to get these wells to produce more water and better quality water. So that's where we are right now.
Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so these are 8 wells, Josh, that we approved obviously before you came here. Can you tell us what the plan is for doing the balance of the wells? You have 27 wells, right? 26, 27 wells?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So the 8 wells you're speaking to are 6 Floridan wells and 2 surficial wells that are part of the new plant GMPs. The wells that Global Tech is currently rehabilitating are the existing wells. Now, to talk about in a large scheme things, we are getting ready to present an agenda item this evening for Brown and Caldwell to begin a well-field master plan. That master plan will be a roadmap for us to identify which wells we're going to invest in, which wells we're going to abandon, and then how the utility will optimize those wells, the ones that we choose to invest in. One thing to consider with a lot of these wells is one, right-of-way and easement issues. We're seeing that these wells are so old that the surrounding neighbors have pretty much isolated them from access for us. And we also see FP&L power lines running over these wells, which makes it very difficult to be able to do rehabilitation work. But speaking to the two superficial wells, which are ones that will be able to go into operations at the existing water treatment plant, those are currently drilled. They're under development, and once the development is finished, we'll be able to bacteriological them, hook them up to the raw conveyance line, and then eventually send them to the existing water treatment plant to treat.
Okay, so my Chair, okay to follow up?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, we identified these 8 wells. How did we identify these 8 wells if we didn't have a study or a plan?
So 6 of those 8 wells are Floridan wells,
Mhm.
which only can be treated by reverse osmosis, the RO portion of the new water treatment plant. So those 6 wells are sort of taken out of the equation. If the city wanted to have reverse osmosis, they had to invest in Floridan wells. As far as the other 2 superficial wells, based on what I've been able to see, in 2015, the city permitted 2 additional superficial wells that were never drilled. And therefore, because of the inability to get enough water out of the ground with the existing 28 wells, they decided to move forward as part of this process to drill those 2 wells that had already been permitted. I know those permits were getting ready to expire, so the time was now. Otherwise, they would have to go through the re-permit process.
Chair, follow up?
Yes, go ahead.
So you have a guesstimate on what it'll take, how much time it'll take to get to having 28 wells online?
So at this point, my hope is within the next 2 to 3 months. Really, I believe that we're probably 45 to 60 days out from having a draft TM as far as the wellfield master plan. It may take a little longer than that, depending on how extensive we find ourselves in each individual well. But as David was speaking to, only 27 of the 28 wells actually have FP&L feeding them. So one of those wells is actually always going to be in standby, only be used in emergency situations. Now, the caveat to that is it has to run so often to be able to get a sample each month. If we don't, we run the risk of having to go into extenuated bacteriologicals because it has not run. Even though it's perfectly fine, we have to get a generator out there. So I anticipate the ability to run all 27 wells consistently within the next 30 to 60 days. We're close.
Okay, that's great. One more question. The test wells, you're testing for saltwater intrusion right into the aquifers. We have a couple of test wells, a few test wells in the city.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we know from the county and from our own test wells how good those aquifers are? Have we seen, do we know where the interface is with saltwater intrusion?
So I have not seen, Madam Chair, if I may, I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I have not seen any data on the monitoring wells. What I will tell you is South Florida Water Management did a large study a few years ago and really studied that saltwater intrusion line throughout the entire east coast of Florida. And so when I get an opportunity, I'll take a look at that to see if I do see any concerns. But the nature is that we are going to see degradation in our wells. And so the most sense it makes is as we decide to drill new wells, the farther west we go, the better.
Right.
The issue with that is South Florida Water Management really is particular in how much water we can pull out of that western well field. And so it's a very fine balance between making sure we can pull enough water out of the ground farther west so we have those long-term wells, but getting close enough to the saltwater intrusion line where we can also pull out of that eastern well field.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Thank you.
So out of the 28 wells, how many are operational?
24 of the 28. And then you have 2 surficial wells that are being developed as part of GMPs 2 and 3 that will be in service, I would probably say within the next 60 to 90 days.
So those 2 are inclusive of the 28.
No, it's total of 30.
I see.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions for Global Tech? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
U.S. Water?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
In tonight's meeting, we also have the transition plan. At the pleasure of the board, if you'd like, we can combine.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So this will be 4A and 4B for U.S. Water.
Remote access managed device. I'm sorry, it's not. Oh, there we are. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Board, City Administration. My name is Michael Miller. I'm the Senior Project Manager for U.S. Water, and I want to give an update on the existing facility. The first thing I wanted to discuss is the training. The last month, we had the chloramine, so we did get that training in. As a matter of fact, it was our CEO of the company who actually gave the training. As far as the equipment and asset status, the maintenance update, we were able to get 2 large transfer pumps replaced, install some gauges on the wells, and as well as we're continuing to disinfect certain wells, which we've been having some issues trying to get them bacteriologically cleared, but we hope within the next few days we'll be able to manage that. Replacement of the plant fence, the existing plant fencing is currently underway. That was actually started today, and the raw water backflow valve was also replaced. There are some other items some small items that we're working on, but we anticipate by the end of December to be able to have that completed. And we'll talk about some of the major item in a second. And that major item is the filter bypass conveyance project. I know it's probably hard to see, but this basically gives a schedule of when we plan to have the filter project completed. We are running into some issues due to the impacted piping and that sort, which we had anticipated. But with each delay, let's say if the return basins are maintained properly, it will add a day or maybe 2 days for each filter for us to be able to actually backwash and ensure that it's working properly. That again, this is the filter bypass conveyance project, and we're on phase number 3, and we'll stop at phase number 3. That would be the completion. We will not go into phase 4 and 5, which includes additional piping and construction. Some of the challenges that we've seen, of course, the clog piping, the scheduled maintenance of what we have the saves all ponds. That's actually the return basin for backwashing. So it's kind of hindering us to be able to, let's say, expedite the process. But we are working through it, and we had some equipment that we had to get repaired. So we're back on track with regards to the time frame. With the water quality impact, of course, you guys know this already as far as how that does impact the water quality. So we're still working on that, and we anticipate that we will be completed hopefully by the middle of December, if not the end of December. As far as the recommendations, again, we're going to have to extend the time as far as just maintenance to be able to complete that project, and we anticipate using U.S. Water personnel in which to do it. At this particular point, one of the areas that we need to focus on is with what Global Tech had just reported with regards to the well field, to be able to provide us enough water, raw water, to ensure that we can actually treat and process it through those filters. So I appreciate the fact that they are definitely making progress on the well field.
Our distribution manager, Sean Tyler, oh, wow, sorry, it's kind of very difficult to read. But Sean Tyler, he left the project as we are starting to draw down at the beginning of the month of November. But this is one of the main recommendations that we have for the city when it comes to the distribution system is having a manager. And I won't go through all the different tasks. Josh is fully aware and his staff. But we think that having that distribution system manager will help to alleviate some of the larger issues that the city has been having with regards to the distribution, low residuals, and so forth, and which also impacts your water quality. So with regards to distribution, that is one area that we highly recommend, and that's the distribution system manager.
So hold on a second. So the distribution systems manager, do we have one of those?
Yes, ma'am, we do. That would be the distribution superintendent, just a different nomenclature for the
All right, got it.
position.
When I speak of the manager, I'm just speaking of the various tasks that we think are important. So that's the reason why we're highlighting that. Okay, and as far as the transition plan, of course, I had this graph up earlier last month, and basically we want to maintain the system reliability and water quality and ensure that there is a smooth handoff, as well as even afterwards, you have our number. Josh has our numbers. If he needs some assistance or needs some type of advice, we'll be there for him. So we'll give him that support. With regards to the deliverables, we will be putting together a final report and also an updated maintenance schedule, which I talked about briefly a little bit earlier. As far as the compliance tracker, we've already settled that with the new compliance manager. She has all the documentation, but she's still in contact with our director, compliance director, if she needs any further assistance. With regards to the certain lists and certain documents, we'll provide all of that at the end. And as you can see in the last graphic, we talked about recommended focus areas, of course, the filter maintenance, distribution, and chemical feed dosing and valve exercise. We think those will be very important in maintaining and keeping the water quality at a level that the public could appreciate.
Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Miller, you referred to the transmission system. How far into studying the transmission system did U.S. Water get? I know we had an I&I study done recently. Did you look into that? Did you discuss that with staff?
No, sir. I meant transition. We had no real focus on the transmission itself as far as the integrity. Our main concern was how to be able to increase the residual and to make sure that we don't have the buildup of the buildup in the system where it starts to impact the water quality like we had previously when we first got here. But nothing on the transmission lines.
You didn't look at the lines or anything?
Not at all.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, I did want to add, Dr. Spiritus, that I have had conversations with the CEO of U.S. Water about doing some desktop auditing of the actual amount of water we use or goes through the meters. Currently, we see about a 60% water loss between what we actually pump out of the ground and sell to residents and businesses, which is a lot. Generally, industry standards is about 10%. Getting into 15% is considered way off the chart. So having a 40% water loss is significant. To me, that's lost revenue. And so over the next 6 months, with the addition of the new assistant director, which I'll introduce here in a little bit, I believe that we will really start identifying target locations and figure out what we can do to minimize that water loss.
Okay, Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
So while you're doing the transmission system itself, I assume you know that I think it was 60% of our concrete pipes have asbestos in them. So you're going to look at mitigating that somehow?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes.
So yes, sir, we will. One of the things that we plan on doing we are currently working in the Lakeview Park neighborhood in regards to some pipe bursting and some other new technologies that really are less invasive than the standard open cut or dredge and bore. And so as we make our way through the system, we will be identifying different sections to replace and or pipe burst. I actually had a conversation with the city engineer this morning about making sure that when we do this kind of work, we match what's happening with roadways. The last thing the utility wants to see happen is our utility or our city engineer comes in and paves and remills the street, and then 5 months later, we're in there cutting it up to do work. And so we want to make sure that our work happens prior to them, at least 5 to 6 months, and then they can come in there and finish it and leave the residents with a fresh new look.
Right, Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so, but you mentioned bursting. So that's what we do today, as you know. Rather than ripping up the roads, we're able to burst the line, which saves us a substantial amount of money. So I don't think that we should be waiting for remilling or repaving roads on something that we're probably going to be do bursting on. We should know from the I&I study what conditions are going to require ripping up a road at this point. We should know that right now. I don't think we should hold that project up because it could be 5 years before you ever get to it. People want to have a nice road to ride on in the interim. So please be careful in trying to stop those repaving, remilling projects because they're very important to the people that live here.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
And so when I sort of mix the two together, I just want to make sure that the board realizes that we are working outside of just the USD. We want to make sure we're working with other city departments, that these things happen in a phased, methodical approach. As far as the I&I was done on the wastewater collection, not so much as the distribution system. But to that point, I don't disagree with you that we will do everything we can to get the pipe bursting done as quickly as possible, especially on the ACP pipe.
You're saying the I&I, Chair, it's okay?
Go ahead.
So you're saying the I&I didn't do the transmission system?
No, sir.
What's the point in doing an I&I if you don't do the transmission system?
So Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
So the I&I is a component of wastewater collections. We want to see what's being filtered into the system, thus increasing the bills going out to ECR and then passing down to our residents. As far as the distribution system, which is finished water, those are the ACP pipes that we're speaking of, and those do not have an I&I component.
Should we be doing something to study those pipes right now? Because they're pretty old.
Absolutely, and we already are. We already have Chen working on a distribution master plan, and then from that distribution master plan, we'll start identifying different sections of the city to begin using our renewal and replacement, as well as some large capital dollars to pipe burst and or several different technologies to replace those lines. Because I think the actual number that I saw was closer to 70% of the distribution system is asbestos pipe.
Yeah, not good. Thank you.
You're
You've been
welcome.
very helpful. Thank you.
So let me ask, you have a distribution master plan, you have a well master plan. How are those going to work together in terms of the new facility, the existing facility, and getting all that work done with these master plans simultaneously?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So right now, the way I look at master plans, I look at them as individual segments of a story. And as we maneuver to this new water plant, we will start identifying different components of that master plan and prioritizing each phase of the individual master plans. For example, we are in the transition phase of moving to a new water treatment plant. Source water is critical for the success of this new water treatment plant. And therefore, getting these wells rehabilitated, redrilled, abandoned, whatever the master plan decides within that scope and technical memorandum, that's what we will do. But as we sit down and prepare the FY25, now moving into FY26 and 27, that'll be our planning period to identify funding sources for each. Because the other thing that is critical to this is how much appropriations are we seeing at the state and federal level? What grants are we getting? Which that will be able to allow us to sort of change the order in how we end up, getting all of this done.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. As a matter of fact, Josh, you mentioned our CEO speaking about the transmission lines. Well, we did put together a proposal with regards to doing a desktop audit, and I finished that this morning. So our Vice President of Operations is reviewing it, so you should have that hopefully tomorrow.
So let me ask you a question. So because U.S. Water is nearing its end with the utility district, is there going to be in your final report the differences, something as basic as what the water looked like when you got here versus what it is now? I mean, in terms of bacteria, in terms of whatever, is there going to be something as simple as this is how the water looked when we got here, this is how it looks now?
Yes, I haven't really given an entire amount of thought on exactly how that would be presented as far as let's say when you talk about water quality, but we will state exactly, do a comparison as to what we had before, whether it comes to water quality, whether it comes to the maintenance side of it, what we had coming and what we are leaving with. That is the intent for the final
Right,
report.
but I'm more concerned about water quality when you got here versus when you're leaving. That's what I'm more concerned with. So there needs to be something in that report that shows us that your job here was a difference in the water quality
absolutely.
of the city.
Oh, yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Okay.
We feel like we made a big difference.
Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
you brought up a very good point. Director Neiman, U.S. Water, obviously, we believe that they did a very good job here so far, and we're very happy with them. And now we're going through our transition to back out of meeting them here on a regular basis, on a daily basis. Do you believe we still need them for maintenance of the existing plan until things really get better? I mean, are we getting out too early, or should we be bringing them on for another few months to finish up things that they're working on? Because Mr. Miller already brought up one project that he said he's going to need some more time on.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
From a staffing perspective, front office, day-to-day operations, it's time for U.S. Water to make their exit. From a maintenance standpoint, I do think it would be in the best interest to allow them a few more months to finish some of the ongoing projects that have been done at the plant. It's been mentioned on the board several different times. The water plant's like a giant onion. When we fix one thing, something else breaks. And so we've really been able to get down to the root cause of a lot of these issues that have been lingering for a long, long time. But those take time. For example, we originally estimated that it was going to take approximately 1 to 2 weeks per filter once we decided to clean them and rebed them with new anthracite and media. We found that it's actually taken about 1.5 to 2 times as long, because when we pulled the media out, which you couldn't see until it was gone, those under drains were completely calcified. So every under drain had to be pulled out, backwashed in an acid rinse, and then cleaned manually and then reinstalled. And then once that reinstallation was done, everything had to be regrouted. So I do believe that it would be in the benefit to the city. There are still, I wouldn't say a substantial amount of money left in the $4 million that the board approved during my first few weeks here for U.S. Water, but there will be money left on the table if U.S. Water makes their entire exit by December 31st.
Wait, Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So question to the city manager. So if we decide, or if Director Neiman decides that he needs U.S. Water to work for another 3-4 months or whatever, do you have to come back to the board to do that, or is that already approved in the $4 million? Do you have the authority to approve that on your own?
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes, go ahead.
I would prefer that the board provide us that clarity of direction this evening, if that is something that the board would like to see continue pursuant to the recommendations provided by the utility district director, because obviously sourcing in some items, keeping the momentum, and if there's any delays as it relates to contractual language or bringing things back, we don't want to lose any momentum. So it would be something that we would want to get direction from the board this evening.
Chair?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
please let the record reflect that Vice Chair Miller Anderson is present.
Okay.
Okay, Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so, City Manager Evans, do you want to take a consensus from the board, or do you want a motion from the board?
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes, go ahead.
I would prefer it in a formal action from the board. So a formal motion that if U.S. Water is to continue, they're to continue to provide what is maintenance services pursuant to the direction provided by the utility district director.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
okay, before a motion is put, so in the question that he asked, I'm thinking that, is that included in the 4 million, or are we talking about adding additional monies for
Madam
extended
Ch-
services?
Madam Chair, if I may,
Uh-huh.
Director Neiman, how much do you think you're going to have remaining at the conclusion of the filter project?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So Mike and I had a conversation today, and they're reconciling their books, and we think we have about $750,000 left on that contract. It could be as low as $500,000. We don't know those exact figures. We're working on that right now. But I do want to let the board know that I would not make the recommendation to spend any more money with U.S. Water and maintenance outside of what has already been approved by the board.
Thank you.
So I don't want to make that decision tonight because there's a report that's coming. We don't know how much money there is that's left. I want to be able to know what it is that has happened since they've been here versus where we are now before I can even make a decision that way. And if that's the case, it may be so. But right tonight, there's not enough information to be able to make that decision for my say so.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
first let me thank U.S. Water. And Josh, since you've been on, it's been a major difference. But, and I don't mean any offense to anyone. Sometimes we don't know when to get out of our own way. When I say we, talk about our community. I've been elected in the 90s, as some know, 2010s, and now 2025. The biggest mistake that we normally make is we don't know what we don't know. We have gotten complaints about water for over 40 years. We've been running it. We had a major problem. We were fined $1 million and referred to the state attorney. That's when U.S. Water came in and got us back on the right track. I think we need to allow the executive director of this utility district to advise us on when he thinks it would be comfortable for U.S. Water to step away. There's been this push to get U.S. Water out, get U.S. Water. I'm not understanding it. U.S. Water was one of the ones that saved us. I know we have people in the community, sometimes even some on staff, they have their opinions about things. Fine. Some think U.S. Water should be gone. No offense to anyone, but I would rather listen to people with a background in this. A lot of people saying this have zero background in utility. Zero. And sometimes I get a little frustrated because we go down this rabbit hole. We go and do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. We saying we can do it. I'm saying we can't right now. Right now. We need to keep people with the expertise on for as long as it takes, even if we have to add some more funds. There's nothing more important than quality water. And pushing the people out who got us back on the right track, I think is a major mistake. Major mistake. And those people who may, and this is no one in particular, I'm just talking in general, those who think that U.S. Water should leave, just look at their background and see if they got any utility background. The ones I know don't. Zero. So it's my hope that we as a city would get out of our own way. We hired a good executive director. We have good consultants, got us back on the right track. The quality of water is improving. We don't have as many administrative errors. We're on the right track. I don't understand this push to get them out. And I do not support it. As a matter of fact, and I put this on the record again, I support us getting out of the water treatment business. Bring in experts. All our citizens want is quality water. They don't care about who provided. Everybody be, oh, you outsourcing, not that. Whatever brings in quality water, I support. No restrictions. If it's us, fine. If it's not, fine.
Thank you. So
Wait, I'm gonna end on this note.
Okay.
I'm gonna end on this note. I know I can get on my soapbox.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And let me just say, I have the highest respect for my colleagues, but we're gonna have different opinions about things.
Of course.
And that doesn't mean we have no beef up here. We have good relationships. None, zero beef. I know that kind of turns some people off. The drama is not up here now, you know. But in all sincerity, I think we should allow our executive director to make that decision. And if he thinks right now, tonight, he can see a need for U.S. Water for a few more months or longer, I'm ready to support what the executive director is recommending. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, and I can appreciate your position in regards to this. I know that we have staff members on staff who have been there 15, 20, 25 years who are excellent at the job that they do. When we ran into these issues in regards to water, all of those individuals have since left the city. I know that the individuals who are working there now can take over and do what they need to do. I understand that we want to keep a comfort blanket around to be able to, make sure that we are doing what we need to do. And I think that we can still do that without U.S. Water. And to lo and behold, give it off to U.S. Water altogether. Privatization is something that I definitely would not support. But we're talking about U.S. Water, and I'm not saying that they cannot. I'm saying that I don't have enough information tonight. I didn't come here tonight to make a decision about whether they should stay or go. They have a contract that ends at the end of December, and that's what we were doing tonight, was having a conversation about what they've done thus far. There is no report that has been issued. There is nothing that's been done to be able to let me know what happened before they got here and what happens now. So I would like to have more information in regards to that, because I'm not making a decision based on a single presentation that is only talking about one specific part of what they did as a total. So that's my basis of this. Any other questions from the
Chair?
board? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I agree with my colleague, Commissioner Guyton. I believe that we should listen to our experts, to our executive director and our city manager and other staff people. We're on the 1 yard line right now. It'd be a shame to fumble the ball before we get into the end zone. We're very, very close. We're only asking for, I think you're asking for what, another 3-4 months right now, and to use up the money that we've already budgeted. We're not going above that right now. So I would like to make a motion that we extend the contract for U.S. Water with the expectation that they will not go over the amount that's already budgeted for this project, and we leave it up to the executive director and the city manager to move forward with U.S. Water as needed.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. I have every confidence that the staff that is put in place, that is there now, the individuals who know the most about water than those of us who are sitting up here, and that we have trust and confidence in the staff that we have now. I don't want to be dismissive of them because whenever U.S. Water goes, they are the ones that are going to have to continue to do the job. And I think that they're ready to do that now, given the training and given where we are in terms of U.S. Water. This would be the second or third extension of their contract since they've been here. But that is my 2 cents.
So
There's a
this,
motion and there's a
Yes. Oh, wait,
second on the
Madam Chair.
floor.
Madam Chair,
Go
let me
ahead.
just clarify
Hold on one
something.
second, sir. I got a colleague down here who
Oh,
wants
I'm
to say
sorry.
something.
okay, no problem. Madam Chair, so I just want the executive director to repeat again what you said about retaining, because you said based on the day-to-day, it would be a no, but based on maintenance. Can you be clear so that I can understand and residents can understand what you're saying? And we're talking about within the $4 million budget.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So in regards to day-to-day operations, we have several different divisions within utilities. Some of the ones that U.S. Water really has had a huge impact on are USD administrations, compliance, and operation, and then obviously maintenance. The operation, the compliance, and the day-to-day administration or administrative functions that they were helping fulfill when they got here are no longer needed. We have staff, new and old, that are more than competent to do those jobs. Anything that would go beyond this, it would be my recommendation. It was strictly for maintenance activities that would eliminate that last remaining budget on the pre-existing approved $4 million. After that, it would be my recommendation to approve no additional contracts or sum of money.
Thank you for the clarity.
Madam Chair, yeah.
And yeah, I also wanted to say that, so just to eat up the rest of the money is no reason to be able to keep people around. That is unacceptable. We cannot just keep someone around because we need to eat up the rest of the money. That doesn't work. So, but I
Madam
do
Chair.
have,
Chair.
I do have confidence in the staff that we have now to be able to continue the work that they've always been doing. Go ahead, yes, ma'am.
I'm sure. But you didn't say to eat up the rest of the money. You said to do actual maintenance, to help with the maintenance portion of the contract that, the work that they were doing, correct?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So it's really critical to look at U.S. Water as a private entity, right? They do not have to follow the same procurement guidelines as the city staff. And the reason that's critical in this sense is when we go through procurement, it generally can take a month, 2 months. Give you an example. We bid an item. Then the item is negotiated. Then I bring it to the board. Then the board signs the PO. Then the PO by that time, 2.5 months have passed. And when we're running on equipment that is the second or third in line that should be not running, that's where that relationship with U.S. Water has made such a difference in how quickly we've been able to reestablish things at the water plant. And so I totally agree with the sense that it would be a fiduciary irresponsibility for me to just eat up the rest of the money. But there are vital things needed at the water plant that remain that I do not disagree with the chair that our staff can do. It's having them do it in a quicker fashion.
Okay, very good. Madam Chair, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to clarify my comments about we needing expert assistance. That's not being dismissive of the staff. That's recognizing that we have a problem and we need some expertise to assist our staff. That's the only thing I'm saying. And I stand by that, and I think the quality of the water is improving. And Josh, what's your last name? Mr. Neiman, I'm sorry. One of those senior moments. I've been in meetings where, and I've said it publicly, I've asked our staff to get out of your way and let you do your job. Have I not said that to you and to staff?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
It's important to me that people with the expertise is allowed to do their job. And sometimes I think, again, we get in our own way. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. There's a motion and a second on the floor. Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Penier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson,
No.
Board Member Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier. The item passes with Vice Chair Miller Anderson and Chairperson Lanier dissenting.
Thank you. So, Mr. U.S. Water, sir, Mike,
Yeah, no worries.
do you have anything else left for your presentation?
No, I was just going to point out some specific with regards to my presence. As of Friday, I won't be on the site on a daily basis. We are actually closing that office since we're going mainly to a maintenance standpoint. So I will still be involved on the project. I just won't be here on a daily basis, but I will be here at least weekly to check to make sure that Josh is satisfied with our work. As I said before, the distribution manager that we had, he left in November, and pretty soon, after this week, after Friday, there should be no permanent U.S. Water employee on the site. It'll be just on a daily basis for the maintenance.
Okay, thank you so much for all the work you've done with the city. We really appreciate it. And getting our guys up to par and to be able to continue once you guys leave. We really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. Thank you. Very welcome. And if I may, before I leave, I just like to say thank you, of course, to the board, to administration, and for bringing us on. And I do feel very strongly that you have the right person as an executive director to keep this ship aligned, if you will. And I just want to say to the employees of the USD, who I worked with for almost 14 months, even though we may have had some professional differences, it was never personal. And if it is, I want to publicly apologize to you if you're still feeling that way. But I really, although it's challenging, I really, really appreciate the efforts that they put in and to work with us. And with that, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
a question to Mr. Neiman. Where are we on the quality scale of water now? You gave me some numbers at our last meeting, and we had a goal that we was trying to raise the level from where we were. So could you just give me where we are on that quality scale and where we're trying to get to?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So right now, I believe the colors that I saw leaving the plant this afternoon were between a 10 and a 12. Chlorine residuals have been fantastic. And then the only other one would really be the, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, free ammonia, which has been fantastic. So in the grand scheme of things, running a 50-year-old lime softening plant, we are doing very well with the addition of these brand new filters or rehabilitated filters. I believe that we will see colors down in the 8s, which is really as far as we can go in water quality to get this place to last until the new treatment plant is ready.
Madam Chair, one quick
Yes,
question.
go ahead.
So the lower the scale is, the better the quality of water?
Yes, sir, Madam Chair, if I may, I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
So with color, which is I think the most apparent to residents, the higher the color, the worse it is. For a lime softening plant of this age, we would anticipate anywhere from 8 to 15, 15 being the secondary maximum contaminant level. And we sit generally at a 10 to a 12, which are really good numbers.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move into public comment before we go to our next presentation. Public comment shall begin at 5:45 p.m. unless there is no further business in the city. I'm sorry, do we have any public comment?
We have one general public comment card.
Okay. Public comment shall begin at 5:45 p.m. unless there is no further business of the city council, the utility district, which in that event, it shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 5:45, then comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Please be reminded that the City Council Board has adopted rules of decorum governing public conduct during official meetings, which has been posted up front. In an effort to preserve order, if any of the rules are not adhered to, the city council chairperson may have any disruptive speaker or attendee removed from the podium, from the meeting, and or the building if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly.
Lloyd Brown.
Yeah, I'm here because at one of the meetings, I was told I was lying about a situation that happened over at Walmart. This mayor here came to me and told me, I'm gonna need your advice when I become the mayor. That was before they even voted. So, you know, if you think I'm lying, I'll take a lie detector test to prove that this man was telling me. And then this dude here who walked out,
Council, Mr. Brown.
no, let me tell you, Lozman already came here and straightened you out. You can say what you want to say. I'm not cursing.
No, you have to address the whole council, sir.
Well, I'm addressing you one at a time then.
No, you
I want
address
to
the
start
whole-
with this one. No, you
sir.
can't, wait.
Yes,
Lozman
yes,
came in
yes,
here and
sir.
told me,
Well,
and the
that's
law
Mr.
says you
Lozman.
can't tell me who I can't say anything about.
Yes, no, you cannot. You
No,
have to
I'm
address the
telling
whole
you,
board.
well, I'm starting, I'm pointing them
Sir.
out because those are the culprits.
Sir, you have to address the entire
Well,
board.
those are, well, the entire, you want me to address all y'all? All y'all should take a sunshine law test to where you find out if you talking outside the council like I figured he was. And then you already know one of your council members was already confronted. And then if he was saying like now, oh, everything's gonna be better if we go in and let these people did that. This water been bad when he was in there 2 or 3 times and he just said he was in there. So what in the heck was he doing then? And now he come in talking about y'all want this and then he asking for a raise. Let me tell you, y'all people just using the money that we got. Y'all don't even have, and y'all really don't consider people. You don't look around the neighborhood and see the unemployed black people that's walking around. Everybody that's moving in the neighborhood got a job, and then you sit over here like it's so damn good. So if you don't like the word damn, then you just don't have to. But I'm just telling you like this, it's really messed up that we got a group of people up here. Y'all are just puppets. Y'all got puppeteers running y'all. And the reason he left out, because he did violate the sunshine law. He been in here 3 times before. The water ain't straight yet. I used to go on top of the tower with a friend of mine that worked over there. So you can't complain about these workers. Me and him used to smoke marijuana on top of that tower over there, and the water was so good. I can go in my front yard and drink it out of a hose. And he was getting high. So what's the problem with these people in there now? It's just that y'all don't give them the opportunity. You want to down them like he does. Why should you down the people that's working here now? I mean, that don't make no sense. It falls on you. And then, Mayor, if you think I was lying, then I tell you what, okay, well, y'all, if y'all think I'm lying about what I said about the man over there, then y'all take a lie detector test to prove, and I'll take one. Channel 12, I'll take a lie detector test to prove that I wasn't lying when I told that man said something to me. And then y'all put him in here. And then this man right here, y'all put him back. And you saying, why can't you talk about an individual? That's the corporate. When you go to court and you the criminal, you get pointed at. So don't tell me I can't talk about him.
So much, sir, for your comments. We're going to go to the next item, which is the presentation by Haskell.
Good evening, Board, Madam Chair, and Mayor. Mike Hoisington with Haskell, and then we also have Suzanne Meckler with CDM Smith, part of the JV. We do have a presentation, but we want to ask, do you have any specific questions that you would like us to address instead of going through our presentation?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Only question I have is GMP price. When are we having that?
GMP price has been submitted to Josh and Nigel. They're currently reviewing it. We received comments today. We have started our response already. We're willing to sit down and negotiate.
How long is the negotiation going to take on your behalf?
I don't have a guess, but we are willing to sit down in a room and talk through the solutions so we can get to an agreeable number.
And that agreement number is between you and staff?
I'm looking for Nigel. We need agreement from Nigel and their team.
Okay.
I don't want to share the number and
No problem.
until he
Madam
has
Chair?
sufficient time to review.
Understood. Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Follow up, Mr. Neiman. In regards to the price details and where we stand, that number that we're looking to negotiate those terms, do we have a number that's been given from direction of the board, from staff, to make sure we're clear with where we're going to go and how far we're going to go with our GMP?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead. Is that this sheet of paper? Is that this?
To
Yeah.
answer your question, I have not been given a specific target from the board, but I did hand out two different attachments before the meeting. One is an overall synopsis of all of the GMPs you've approved, some of the GMPs that we anticipate to get through this project to give you a totality of the entire project. That's what you're looking at now. I did want to provide that to the board. And then to answer your question, Mayor, regarding the negotiations, before I got here, GMP 1 and 2, I believe, took 5 to 6 months. The comprehensiveness of this GMP is to the extent larger. And so, my hope is 3 months at the max to
Right.
get this to you guys.
Director Neiman, Madam Chair, if I could do a follow-up.
Yes, go ahead.
We have this, it just got put on our desk today. I would recommend that we kind of sit down with each board member to have a discussion, clear understanding, review these GMPs, so you can get clear direction from the board. Because I don't want to waste 3 to 4 months of staff negotiating, and then that's not the pleasure of the board, and waste 3 months. We don't have any more time to waste. So if we can't have those conversations immediately with the board to give an oversight, because the team has submitted a GMP, let's not waste time. We're going into the holidays now, so I could foresee us losing a lot of time. So if we can schedule one-on-ones with staff, that'd be a good approach. Just getting this in front of us now, I mean, I have no idea what this is, and I was hopeful that you'd go over this, but this looks like this is a more in-depth conversation that we need to have, and we have the time and availability for tonight.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Mayor, I don't disagree with you, and we'll make sure to schedule those with the city manager and one-on-ones. The reason for that attachment that you see today, one of your colleagues asked for it, and I wanted to make sure everybody got the same
And thank you.
attachment.
Thank you for that, Director Neiman. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm glad the mayor brought this up with respect to how long. Well, first of all, can we just have CDM tell the public? Not everybody knows who CDM is and what their responsibilities are. Thank you,
You,
Susan.
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
Suzanne Meckler with CDM Smith. CDM Smith is a 6,000 person environmental engineering firm based out of Boston. We've been operating for 75 years, focused on water and wastewater treatment, some stormwater. We have been designing water treatment plants in South Florida for over 40 years, specifically transitioning from lime softening to membrane plants pretty consistently over the last 25 years when it became, when membrane technology became the next generation. We are responsible for the design of the water treatment plant components, pretty much everything other than some of the architectural and building components. So we are doing all the well work and all the water treatment plant work associated with the project.
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Suzanne, you're also working on the WIFIA application and the revolving loan application?
There's two applications that we specifically worked with the city on. One was the South Florida Water Management District Alternative Water Supply, which runs through DEP. We are still waiting to hear on that application. As I mentioned last meeting, the district recommended our projects to be funded. We just haven't gotten the official direction from DEP or the confirmation. So we're waiting on that. They haven't notified anyone, so it's not just us. And then secondly, we supported with the FDEP State Revolving Fund grant, not grants, loans with principal forgiveness up to 20% as it looks like the city is viable for. And we actually are in communication with them. We've given them all of our bidding documents to make sure that they're in compliance. We worked with them prior to us to make sure that we submitted all the bidding documents, advertised with all the appropriate bidding documents, and now we're giving them all of the documents with the information so that they can verify, which we need to do prior to December 31st. So that process is going on. The priority listing meeting for DEP for the state revolving fund funding is in the second week of February, and that's when we'll know for sure. But we have asked for 157 million as a potential SRF funded. As for WIFIA, the city was taking the lead on WIFIA. We helped with the application originally, the request, but we are not taking the lead on that side of it. But we're here to support. And a lot of times WIFIA and SRF do go together. So if the city makes that decision, we'll be here to give all the information.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
So I just want to follow up on the mayor's concern about 3 to 5 months of negotiations. So there's going to be negotiations. So I think in that interim, I'd like my colleagues to consider taking the exit ramp. I brought this up before, and putting this project out to bid. That's the only way we can have true competition and get a real fair price, in my opinion. So I think that we should expedite that. So when you speak with Executive Director Neiman and the city manager, I think each person should discuss that in great detail. I think that we could probably do this, have it out to bid probably in 30 days and have a 30-day bidding. The numbers are already on the street, as we know, so it won't take long to get vendors to respond to their end of the deal for the bidding process. So I really think that we should consider, and if Haskell has the best number, they could bid that number and be the low bidder. But at least we'll know that we'll have competition, fair competition, and whatever the lowest responsible bid is, it is. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Executive Director Neiman, I was wondering, because I'm also interested in this GMP and the cost and any way that that price can be negotiated, because can you share with me and the residents some of the other costs associated with this new water plant other than what?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So I did not bring myself a copy of the chart that you're looking at, but to give the residents some idea of the overall cost associated with this plant. GMP 1, Phase 1 was for the initial design and planning for the new water.
Sure. Just for clarification, can the executive director explain to the public what GMP stands for?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
I apologize. I forget some of my audience. GMP stands for Guaranteed Maximum Price. So that basically allows us to one set price with the exceptions if the owner changes the scope of the project. Obviously, at that point, there would be a change order, but the GMP is a guaranteed maximum price of what we are predetermined for the set work that is assigned to the contractor. Phase 1 of the project included planning and pre-construction design efforts. I believe that one on that, and I was not part, but I want to say was that 8.6 million. Am I close?
8.8.
Okay, and so then you had GMP 2 and 3. GMP 2 and 3 included well-filled expansion. I believe those numbers respectively were 12.3 and 23.7. And forgive me if I'm off, but it's very close to that. And those Floridan wells, as we spoke about earlier in the meeting, are to deliver raw, untreated water to the RO side of our new water treatment plant. Those will be put into service once the new plant is constructed. And then GMP4 is the injection and monitoring well. And that injection well is the disposal method for everything coming off of those membranes at our new water treatment plant. Instead of sending it out to the wastewater facility, that eliminates that need and greatly reduces the overall cost of operations. GMP5 is the pre-treatment, water treatment, ground storage tank, pumping facility, which is a lot more than just a treatment process plant. And then outside of that, you have raw and finished transmission lines. Because we are moving to a greenfield site, we have to extend those transmission and raw water mains. And then finally would be plant demolition. Based on all of those numbers, the estimate for raw and transmission is about 40 million. The current GMP 5 for the new water plant is in the vicinity of 280 million. And then demo and some of the other thing, I believe the overall total was it 432 million? Please help me.
It right here, 451.
451. And so there's some, things to make sure that we have certain items in there. But 451 for the totality of the project. And I think it's important to remember, we're not just building a water treatment plant here. We are building raw water transmission lines. We'll have a brand new state-of-the-art well field. We'll have 2 new superficial wells. We'll have a pumping station. We'll have a new ground storage tank. when most of the facilities around us are talking about building a new water treatment plant, they're specifically talking about treatment. They're not talking about pumping that water to the residents. They're not talking about storing that water. They're specifically just talking about treating the water. And that, I think it's important to understand that.
Okay, Madam Chair, I just follow up because we talk a lot about the plant and the wells, but like every time we get a presenter, we're talking about the pipes, the asbestos in the pipes. That's cost. We're talking about once this facility is up, how much is it going to cost to maintain it, to run it. So I'm looking at I'm trying to figure out the cost of this in its totality. And I know it's kind of hard to project everything, but I just feel like it continues to get more and more
Yeah, it gets,
expensive, more and more. Like you say, you fix one problem, another problem comes up, and then we have to maintain what we have while building a new one. So that's the concern I have.
I think that is my concern as well. And to speak to Dr. Spiritus's point, I thought that we asked utility administration, city administration to provide us an off-ramp if that is what the board chooses to do. What does that look like? And we have yet to receive that. So the question was, if we decided to go out to bid with some of these items or all of these items, what does that look like for the city in terms of off-ramping? What does that look like in terms of contracts? And we were supposed to get that by now. So what's happened with that?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So when you speak to the off-ramp, it was my understanding that the city was to have a good faith negotiation with the JV team, identify if that path was feasible.
No, we were going to have a good faith. We were going to talk to them, but we're saying that what does that look like if we decide to go out? And
Okay.
I don't think that should bar us having that conversation.
No, ma'am, I agree.
Okay, so yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that we could, walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we could not have been preparing all the documents to go out to bid while we were having these negotiation conversations. I think we have to do both. We have to be prepared. We can't wait for one thing to end 5 months down the road, like the mayor said before, and then start the process. We should be ready either way. We're building a $400 million facility here. I mean, for the few $1,000s that it's going to take us to prepare bid documents, I think we should be ready and we should be working on this right now. We should not be waiting.
And I think that from 100 million to 300 million to 400 million to 4.5 million is something that we're going to have to seriously consider. And I think that at our next meeting, you need to bring back to us what that looks like in terms of off-ramping.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I couldn't agree more that we need to be aggressive, and that is, we received an award from one of our builders. Kaufman Lynn actually came and designed our fire station. We received an international award. Myself and the chair were there, and we received a reward from the Design Bill Institute. One of the things that really frustrated me while we were there is that I heard multiple water plants get awarded projects for the design bill with water plants, and none of them took more than 3 to 5 years from procurement to tap. Under budget, prepared, giving quality water to the residents. What surprised me most is that every one of those teams were represented by this team, Haskell, CDM Smith. So I know we have one of the best individuals in the country, but my concern is, are we getting the best support and service for the city of Riviera Beach with the delays that we're experiencing? We've had staffing issues, so we have to take accountability for that. We've had concerns within the utility district. Now we have a qualified, quality staff where we've had the entire staff, but our director, everybody has faith in. The director is now, I need clear direction from you. If we need a procurement process, I think Board Member Spiritus was a little aggressive with 30 days going into the holidays to get a procurement solicitation done, but I couldn't agree more. As quickly as Director Ammons can get that prepared to go out, we need to walk and chew gum. We need to have a price. We need to be competitive. We did it on the CRA side, and we were able to negotiate with 5 international teams for development about projects in the city. We have the right team in place. We have the ability to do it. but we need to be aggressive with doing it and make sure that we hold our team accountable for getting back on timelines. I was surprised to see how long it took to get a GMP, but we have it now. What's next? Now that we have the GMP on our desk, what are we doing with this? Where are we going to be able to get funding? Because I don't care if it's 100 million, 200 million, 500 million. My residents can't afford this water plant. So how are we going to pay for it is my other conversation. So my other comments that I want to make is our appropriations. Where are we with our utility district appropriations? And has the board approved those? Mr. Evans has already sent those over to our state and federal lobbyists, but we need to make sure that that's approved by the board, that's supported, that we have letters of recommendation that we're going to get funding. Because in addition to whatever the cost is going to be, we still have to figure out how to pay for it. So if staff could bring back the options for this board as quickly as possible while we negotiate over these next 2 to 3 months so we can continue to move the process forward. We want to get this project done, shovels in the ground, and be able to honor and celebrate the same way these other teams did in Vegas when they were honoring CDM Smith and Haskell. They're the best team because we selected them, but I don't want to get the B or C team compared to the ones I saw in Las Vegas that had the A teams there. So I think you guys can be the A team by getting it done, but we need to get the price done and get it down and move forward as quickly as possible. And that's for our staff and for our partners. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And I think that needs to happen at our next meeting. We need to see where we are with this. We need to know that if we need to go out, we need to do that. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that we understand what that looks like for the board. And I asked for this before. We need to know what that looks like. If the board decides to go in that direction, we need to be ready to do that. All right, very good. Any other remarks? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Madam Chair.
yes. Go ahead.
Mr. Neiman, I did a public records request over a month ago to you and Mr. Evans for agreement that these primary vendors have and who are they using in our community.
Who's who?
Huh?
Who?
What's
Said
that?
who? You said who? That they're using? Who is it? Who are they?
These vendors, I believe it was Brown and
Oh, Brown and Caldwell?
yeah. Do you remember that public records request? Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
I believe it was for any and all local vendors that CDM Smith Haskell are engaged with as part of the water treatment plant.
Yes, no.
Yes.
And I wanted the actual agreement to see what actual work and how much. I want all of that.
Madam Chair, if I
I
may.
gave it to you over a month ago, so hopefully.
So you're asking to see all the contracts that this 451.8.
Now, I want to see the ones that
I
are being
mean,
used
the
now.
company that is proposing this, you're saying, what are they doing now with local?
Yes.
Yes, got you.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Councilman Guyton, I misunderstood that. I did send you a list of all of the contracts and vendors that they've used. And earlier this morning, I provided to the board, along with the city manager, 8 separate emails that go into depth about the local participation that they've used. I apologize for the emails, but there were so many attachments and I didn't see a better way to do it. But I will make sure to, in addition to the list that I've already supplied you, to actually get the physical contracts as well. I did not realize you wanted both. I
Yes.
just thought you were looking for the list of vendors.
Yeah, no.
Yes, and make sure that's sent to the entire board.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us hear from, there's an item that is on the agenda in regards to Brown and Caldwell for the well fields. Since they do have a presentation, we'll save those until 2B for them so that they can do it at one time. Let's move on to 2A. I'm sorry. Let's move on to, oh, they don't have one. That was on the other one. Bring up Brown and Caldwell to give us a brief discussion because they were on the agenda in regards to work authorization. Go ahead, Mr. Nigel.
Good afternoon, good evening, the chair and board members. Nigel Grace with Brown and Caldwell. I'm going to give just a brief OR update with respect to activities here. Much of the discussion here has been noted. As was mentioned, the JV submitted the GMP on October 31st. The review process that the first round of which has been completed is really kind of focused on looking at competitiveness, cost transparency, understanding the rationale, understanding the pricing approach used for certain non-competitively procured costs, and really kind of digging into the risk register, the allocation of risk, making sure that, we have clarity on how the costs were derived, how the risks are allocated, etc. The first round of review comments has been passed on to the JV today. The next step will be for them to assimilate those comments and for us to sit down and really kind of dig into the details. That process of digging into the details is what Mr. Neiman mentioned as somewhat of an iterative process that we expect will result in a much tighter GMP that's better aligned with the city's priorities in terms of risk, cost, etc. So that process is about to ramp up in full force. As it relates to other ongoing work, the GMPs 2, 3, and 4 are progressing. The drilling activity is progressing. Nothing special to highlight at this point other than just kind of business as usual. As it relates to the item on the agenda, Mr. Neiman, summarized the purpose, objectives of that. I know there's a lot of discussion about that. I'm certainly prepared to answer any specific questions you have in that regard. But the goal is to provide the city with a clear roadmap for handling raw water supplies. So there's one cohesive, well considered document that's going to guide the city's future investments.
Gotcha. Any other questions for Brian Caldwell? Thank you, sir, for your
Okay, thank you.
presentation. Let's move on to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, we're on item 7A, resolution number 36-25UD, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District, Palm Beach County, Florida, approving the piggyback purchase of lime from Loist LLC in an amount not to exceed $725,075 using the City of Tamarack agreement dated October 11, 2023 from the water treatment plant operating under number 411-31103-55200 and authorizing the Utility Special District Finance Director to make payments from the water treatment plant operating account number 411-31103-55200 in an amount not to exceed $725,075 and providing an effective date. Madam Chair, we do not have comment cards on this item. The acceptance of cards is closed.
So moved. So moved.
Second. Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, I've had the Director of the Utility District, Mr. Joshua Neiman, to make this presentation.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So the item in front of you tonight is for the fiscal year 2026 annual allocation of lime for our softening units. This is one of the primary treatment chemicals we use in the plant, along with the other item that was approved earlier in this agenda. And this will get us through the fiscal year 2026. This is a piggyback contract. It's a 3-year-old contract, which we're getting actual 3-year-old prices. And water treatment plant chemicals have skyrocketed over recent years. So we do feel it is in the best interest of the utility and the city to use this final year of this piggyback contract, and then in FY27 establish our own RFP and advertise the line.
Any questions for 7A? Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Panier. Board Member Guyton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson.
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus.
Yes.
Board Member Davis Panier, did you want to vote on this item?
I was listening in the back, so yes.
Okay. And Chairperson Lanier?
Yes.
That is a unanimous vote.
Thank you. Let us get some confirmation of direction, for our next meeting. Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
For confirmation of direction that the utility district board would like for staff to bring back options concerning the off-ramping of the JV associated with the new water treatment plant. And then to help facilitate a completion of a public records request to provide the agreements, contracts, and the list of vendors and the amount spent associated with local vendors here in Palm Beach County.
Madam Chair?
All right, yes, go ahead.
And also were we still going, did we vote on that? Did we vote on
The
the?
off-ramp,
Yeah,
Did
no. Did we vote on, I'm sorry, I'm having a senior moment. Did we vote with the difference with the,
U.S. Water.
US Water? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
we're good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. All right, very good. Any, discussion, city manager?
Yes, Madam Chair, but I will defer my discussion to Mr. Neiman. He will introduce the newest member of the utility district staff.
Madam Chair, before I, if I may, please, before I introduce my new assistant director, I did want to let the board know that we are working on your request for the cost comparison as far as operational expenses and future costs for the new water treatment plant and the existing water treatment plant, as well as some cost comparisons to what other utilities have paid for new water treatment plants and what we are getting ready to pay for. I want to caveat that with a few things. Most of the membrane facilities are anywhere from 10 to 15 years old. We are, however, because of the PFAS regulations, seeing a vast amount of membrane facilities getting built. And so those are coming out. I know I spoke to Ms. Meckler this afternoon, and we have Delray Beach that is getting ready to finish their
Let me
solicitation.
ask you a question right quick. You said PFAS, wasn't there something about a lawsuit that the city was gonna participate in? Something of that nature, Mr. Evans?
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
The city was successful in entering into a class action lawsuit against some of the major entities like 3M and DuPont, and we were successful in receiving approximately $12 million, or will receive $12 million associated with those lawsuits. And the intent is to bring that money and help to defray and buy down the cost of the plant. So we were successful in receiving that.
Very good. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
And so, Madam Chair, if I may, to finish off, I will be bringing those numbers, but we are waiting for some of those solicitations to close to be able to provide you with some more accurate numbers. So you're not getting 10 to 15-year-old numbers, because obviously the economy has changed drastically since then. And demand because of PFAS has gone up substantially for new water treatment plants. And with that, I also want to introduce the board to my new assistant director. To my right is Mr. Richard Gallant. Mr. Gallant has a long history, over 20, I think it's 25 years, we were recalling, within utilities. Prior to this, he was.
Let him tell us that.
Please, by all means, I've talked enough.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Board, City Manager, and residents. My name is Richard Gallant. I am the new Assistant Director of the Utility Special District. I have a long history here in the city of Riviera Beach, as I'm a native son of the city. I was born here in 1971, graduated from Suncoast High School in 1989, lived in this city until 2003. I started my life like most kids out of high school. I went out in the construction, started doing different work. After a period of time, realized that I don't want to crawl in attics anymore. I went back to school and got my bachelor's and master's degree in civil engineering, graduating from FAU cum laude and graduating with my master's degree super cum laude. I've worked for Palm Beach County Utilities for 13 years. I worked at Water Plant 8, which is the largest water plant that Palm Beach County has in their system, at 32 million gallons per day treated. We serviced about 250,000 residents of the 500,000 residents that Palm Beach County services. Our service area went from Forest Hill Boulevard all the way up to Pratt and Whitney, and everywhere in between. So we maintained all the distribution areas, the water quality out of the plant, made sure all of our remote pumping stations, rechlorination facilities are all kept up and maintained. And we actually went through two planned expansions at the water plant that I was at, including two fixed bed anion exchange systems that rated the plant to 32 million gallons per day and actually brought the color down like lower than most RO plants. From there, I went to the village of Wellington. And at Village of Wellington, I worked for 5.5 years as a utility engineer. I was responsible for all the distribution, all the capital projects, all the developer projects, and as well as capital projects within the plant on both the lime and the RO and membrane plants. They had done an $18 million plant expansion, expanding their existing membranes and rebedding all of their existing membranes from RO to nanofiltration in order to save the taxpayers money. From there, I actually went to the village or town of Loxahatchee Groves. At Loxahatchee Groves, I was the public works director, which I was responsible for the day-to-day operations of the facilities, as well as dealing with all the residents, developers, for all the stormwater, roads, drainage, and everything in between. We had multiple capital projects at that location as well. I was born and raised right here in Florida, born at Good Samaritan Hospital, and lived in this state my entire life. So I know this city like the back of my hand.
Thank you. Thank you. Joining the city. Thank you for joining the city. Madam Attorney,
No comments.
any comments from the board?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
there was just one thing, Mr. Evans, I'm not sure when you did your recap. Did we talk about the procurement process and the possible procurement process, what it would take for securing a new water treatment provider?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, under confirmation of direction, that was referenced as the off-ramping, so that would be all
Thank you,
part
sir.
of the discussion.
And you just want to make sure that process was included so we could clearly see the timeline and understand as a board what the timeline looks like if we did, as opposed to going with our current team. And Director Neiman, I just want to say, amazing hire. You and Mr. Evans, thank you. We shows that we have some homegrown, amazing talent from this community that have an option of continuing to move us forward. So thank you for that and welcome to the team, sir. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We will reconvene this city council meeting at 6:47.
6:47. No, but